The Dallas Cowboys are entering a critical phase of their offseason preparations, and one of the stories capturing attention is the potential rise of an undrafted free agent, who might just carve out a spot on the roster. Elijah Clark, a safety from Syracuse, has been quietly making waves during training activities, sparking conversations about whether he can break into the Cowboys' defense. What's fueling this chatter is the fact that Clark was seen taking reps with the first-team defense during one of the odds. On the surface, that's usually a strong indicator that a player is climbing the depth chart, maybe even pushing for a roster spot. But here's the catch: context is king, and the situation around those reps paints a much different picture than a straightforward promotion. That day at practice, the Cowboys' safety room was riddled with injuries. Malik Hooker was sidelined due to back spasms, Marcellus Maris-Bell was off doing shoulder rehab, and Donovan Wilson was nursing a knee injury. Essentially, 3 of the top 4 safeties were unavailable. The usual starters were absent, which meant that the coaching staff had to shuffle players around to fill gaps. With the starters out, Clark was elevated simply by necessity, rather than because he had legitimately outperformed others on the depth chart. In fact, the pecking order among safeties still places Clark at around 5th, behind names like Bell, Wanya, Thomas, Wilson, and Hooker. So while seeing him with the first team might excite fans and analysts alike, it's important to recognize that it wasn't a full endorsement of Clark as a top option, but more a reflection of the injury situation that day. That said, it would be unfair to dismiss Elijah Clark's chances entirely. One of the strongest arguments in his favor is the significant guaranteed money he received upon signing. Among all the undrafted free agents brought in by the Cowboys, Clark was given the largest guaranteed package, totaling around $159,000 between base salary guarantees and signing bonus. That's a clear sign from the organization that they see some untapped potential there. In this business, guaranteed money is often a vote of confidence. The Cowboys wouldn't invest that kind of guaranteed cash without at least considering the possibility that Clark could develop into a contributor, especially on special teams, which is often the proving ground for undrafted players. Alongside Clark, another name worth keeping an eye on is Justin Barron, a hybrid safety linebacker, also hailing from Syracuse. Barron has garnered attention for his extensive work on special teams, which could be a critical factor in securing a roster spot. Players who can excel in special teams roles often get extended chances to prove themselves, particularly if their primary position depth is crowded or uncertain. The combination of special teams prowess and positional versatility makes Barron a candidate to watch as the Cowboys finalize their roster. The group of safeties the Cowboys are working with this offseason isn't particularly deep, which means there's a real possibility that a couple of these undrafted players could find a niche, whether on the active roster or on the practice squad. Injuries and performance fluctuations inevitably shuffle the deck over the course of a season, and those who manage to stay ready and contribute in any capacity can carve out a lasting place on the team. So while Clark's ascent may not be guaranteed, the mix of opportunity, financial commitment from the team, and his own potential on special teams certainly keeps the door open. Switching gears to the running back situation, there's been buzz about potential additions the Cowboys might consider before the season kicks off. Rumors have named Travis Etienne and Najee Harris as possible trade targets for Dallas. However, from what is currently understood, the Cowboys appear to be taking a more measured approach with their running back cores, rather than rushing to add another back. They seem intent on seeing what the current group composed of Javonte Williams, Miles Sanders, and Jaden Blue can offer in terms of production and durability. Running back is a position prone to injuries and performance swings, so it's understandable that the team is reserving judgment until more is seen on the field. Travis Etienne is an interesting name because he's proven himself as a reliable 1,000-yard rusher over the last couple of seasons, although he missed an entire year due to a foot injury. Etienne brings a blend of power and speed that could be valuable in the Cowboys' offense, and he might fit the kind of player Dallas is looking for in terms of explosiveness and ability to contribute on early downs. But Etienne carries a hefty price tag, currently under a fully guaranteed 5th-year option contract worth over $6 million. That kind of salary could make a trade more complicated, as teams might hesitate to absorb that cap hit. Still, Etienne could become a hot commodity at the trade deadline if Jacksonville, his current team, feels comfortable moving on from him in favor of other backs on their roster. On the other hand, Najee Harris represents a more affordable option, though he comes with a different skill set. Harris is known for his volume. It's the kind of back who can carry the ball the 100 and 50 times in a season, providing steady production and reliability. However, his average yards per carry hover around for yards, which is solid, but not flashy. The Cowboys previously passed on Harris when he was a free agent, signaling some initial lack of interest. Even with his contract now including incentives for surpassing 1,000 yards, Dallas remains cautious. Part of the financial calculus here involves the Chargers, who would absorb a majority of Harris's salary in a potential trade, leaving Dallas with a much lower cap hit. But even with that setup, the savings might not be enough to justify the acquisition, especially if the Chargers want to keep Harris as insurance for their rookie Marion Hampton. Meanwhile, the tight end position continues to develop in interesting ways for the Cowboys. The offseason saw several players attend a specialized training and bonding event known as Tight End University, where tight ends from around the league gather to learn from veterans, hone their skills, and build camaraderie. Jake Ferguson, Brevin Spanford, and undrafted rookie Tyler Neville represented Dallas at this event. Such opportunities are invaluable for younger players who are still finding their footing in the NFL, as they get to absorb knowledge from elite peers and mentors. Curiously, Luke Schoonmaker, another tight end from the Cowboys, was absent this year. The reasons for his absence aren't clear. It could be personal scheduling conflicts or other factors, but it was notable given that Schoonmaker and Ferguson both attended last year. These events don't guarantee success, but they provide an environment conducive to growth. And for players like Spanford and Neville, who are still early in their careers, the experience could accelerate their development and boost their confidence as the Cowboys inch closer to training camp and the regular season. These narratives underscore the uncertainty and opportunity that characterize every offseason. Injuries, roster battles, and unexpected performances all play a part in shaping the final 5 three-man roster. Players like Elijah Clark and Justin Barron might not be household names today, but through hard work, special teams contributions, and a bit of luck, they could find themselves as crucial pieces in Dallas's quest for success. Meanwhile, the running back situation remains fluid, with the front office watching closely before making any big moves. And the tight end group continues to benefit from outside resources and experiences designed to unlock their potential. In the end, the story of the Cowboys this offseason is one of patience, evaluation, and readiness. The spotlight often shines brightest on the stars and high draft picks, but every roster spot counts. And undrafted free agents, trade candidates, and developmental players all contribute to the team's depth and resilience. Keeping an eye on these lesser-known players and their progress could reveal some of the hidden gems who make a difference when the games really start counting. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well, and what's shaping up to be one of the more intriguing developments of the NFL offseason. Whispers around the league suggest that defensive tackle Raquan Davis has inked a deal with the Dallas Cowboys, and if true, this move could have immediate implications for their already formidable defense. While official confirmation remains pending, sources close to the situation have hinted that the Cowboys are banking on Davis to bring instant impact to their front line. Davis, known for his imposing 6'7", 330-pound frame and his ability to clog running lanes, could be just the anchor the Cowboys need on the interior. After a solid stint with the Miami Dolphins, where he quietly became a reliable run stopper, Davis now finds himself linked to a team that's been seeking toughness and consistency up the middle. His presence could take some pressure off the edge rushers and allow linebackers like Micah Parsons to roam more freely. A tantalizing prospect for fans in Arlington. While team officials remain tight-lipped, insiders are already speculating about how Davis fits into Dan Quinn's defensive scheme. If this signing proves accurate, it could signal a strategic shift, one that leans heavily into beefing up the line of scrimmage to counter increasingly dynamic NFC offenses. Of course, as with all off-season chatter, nothing is certain until ink hits paper and helmets hit turf, but the buzz is real.